So that being said, as we talk about my postpartum depression today, I wanted to leave this test running so that at the end of this video, we find out together if indeed we are expecting another child. Yes.
I just wanna be happy tonight.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rita's World. My name is Rita, and in this channel I get to share with you videos about motherhood, lifestyle, travel, and food. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you're already part of Rita's World, keep it locked. So what's happening in Rita's World this week? So guys, this week I'm sharing with you a story about my postpartum depression. It's a topic that I rarely talk about, and I know a lot of women out here are going through the same. So there's something that happened 3 days ago that has prompted me into shooting this video. I shared a photo of my cycle app that said that I'm 2 days late. So today is 3 days late. I have not experienced the visitors during these 3 days, and they're supposed to come 3 days ago. So that got me thinking a lot, just like a flashback on how it was when I got pregnant, especially my last pregnancy. And because of that, I've decided to make this video today just to look back at how my last pregnancy was like. And that is my experience carrying Taraji, or my pregnancy with Taraji. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how I battled postpartum depression. And yes, it is real. Postpartum depression is the kind of depression that happens after having a child, I presume. I don't know the right words to use for this, but it's the type of depression that kicks in mostly after you've had a child. And for so many people, including myself, it is so hard to know that you're actually going into depression because of that the baby is there, and maybe you're thinking you're fatigued or you're stressed because of the newborn. Postpartum depression is real, it happens, and it's usually very important for women after giving birth to watch out on the symptoms for postpartum depression. And because of that, I've decided to do this video to just create awareness. I know there's so much on the internet about it, but because I experienced it, and some of the people that I know within my circle have also experienced it, I feel like sharing this story with you guys. So first, I'm going to start with something very silly. I have never done this before, but I got this kit today, and I'm like, the way I usually swear that I don't want another child, I'm like, if I'm busted today, you're all gonna know. You're all gonna see how busted I am. First of all, there's some of the reasons why, like I always say, I don't want another child. Probably people are wondering why. Why are you telling the whole world that you don't want another child? Don't get me wrong. I love kids so much, but it is because of my last pregnancy. That's the reason why I am so scared of having another child. I love kids. I could have even 5 children, but because of what happened, going into depression after my last pregnancy, I was done. I was like, this is it for me. I'm not going through this again. It was much harder for me. And I feel like with all of my pregnancies, as I give birth every other time, and the older I get, it becomes a little bit more difficult. And to be honest, it's not something I want to go through, because I already am blessed with 3 children, and I want to thank God for blessing me with these 3 children. But I feel like the experience I had on my last pregnancy was just it for me. I wasn't ready to go through this again. So that being said, as we talk about my postpartum depression today, I wanted to leave this test running so that at the end of this video, we find out together if indeed we are expecting another child. Yes. And well, I hope it's not. But if it does happen, given that I am on Mirena by day, which was put by Dr. Sule, I'll post a link on her Instagram page so that you can get all the information about her contact and the location of her clinic. She's a very nice gynecologist. Took me through the process of choosing the right contraceptive for me, and I feel like the one I have now, which is a Mirena, has really worked really well for me, because initially I was taking herbal, and it didn't go very well. I put on so much weight and I was having mood swings. It's called PMS. And these symptoms were coming before my periods every month. So I was really struggling and I felt like I needed a solution out of it. And Dr. Sule gave me that. And I'm super, super, super happy for the choice she made for me, or the choice we made together. And yeah, I'm glad. So there's the window of me getting pregnant is very small. As they say, you can get pregnant while you're on the coil, but the percentage is like almost 1%. You know, like, I hope I'm not that 1%, you guys. I hope I'm not that 1%. But there are people, I've seen it on YouTube, I've seen it in the stories that people actually get pregnant on the coil. So we are going to check and find out at the end of this video if indeed we're expecting another child. And if this baby is coming, for sure, this one I'll know it is God sent. And this one is not going anywhere. This baby is going to stay because I have a coil and I have done my best to use the best method to protect me from getting another baby. So if the baby comes, this one is out there. We are having another baby. So first of all, I'm going to start by reading out some of the postpartum symptoms that are online, because I just want to be sure that I'm saying the right thing. I know postpartum depression symptoms come differently for different people, but just to read just broadly what is on the internet, I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to read just so that I give you guys the correct information. And from this, I'm going to pick the symptoms that actually happened to me, and that is what I'm going to share with you guys. So the first symptom of depression is depressed mood or severe mood swings, excessive crying, difficulty bonding with your child, withdrawing from the family, from your family and friends, loss of appetite or eating more than usual, overwhelming fatigue or loss of energy, also the fear that you're not a good mother, hopelessness, feeling worthless, shame, guilt, inadequate, diminishing ability to think clearly or to concentrate while making decisions, and also restlessness, severe anxiety and panic attacks. Guys, I'll talk about that. And also thoughts of harming yourself and the baby, and also recurrent thoughts of death or suicide. These are some of the symptoms that are online that are online about postpartum depression. So first of all, let us go back to the day I discovered I was pregnant. I think Imani was my second born, who's Imani. I think she was like about a year and some months, probably a year and a half. So first of all, how did I get pregnant for Taraji? So I had been taking some family planning pills, which are herbal. And those are those tablets that you take once in a month. Like, I don't like taking pills every day. And I also didn't like it's called Jadel. I had it here placed one time, and it's really made me put on so much weight. And the postpartum, not postpartum, but PMS, premenstrual syndrome, was really severe. So I got off it, and I found this herbal from Makini that I was using at the time, and I was taking one pill a day. So after having Imani, I was still using the pills. And then one day I think I skipped or I delayed taking it at the right time, which was like a day or a few hours after. And that's just basically how I got pregnant for Taraji. I wasn't expecting to have Taraji. Taraji came as a surprise. So after I did the pregnancy test, and I was late, just like I am right now, I found out that I was pregnant. So the pregnancy went smooth. We did a very fantastic baby shower. I'm gonna share some of the photos here for you to see. To be honest, it is one of the best experiences I've ever had, because when I had my firstborn, I was still in campus. When I had my secondborn, I was still trying to stabilize in terms of life and finances and my relationship. And also, by the time Taju came, we were a bit more stable at that point. We had 2 children. I already had 2 children. I was already grown. I think I was about 30 when I found out I was pregnant, because I'm turning 34 and Taraji is turning 4. So I think I was 30 when I found out I was pregnant. So the pregnancy went smooth, other than the fact that I put on so much weight. I'm going to share some of the photos here for you to see. I put on so much weight. I was craving a lot of soda, a lot of sweet things, and my weight shot from 75 to 96 at the time when I was giving birth. So anyway, fast forward to Taraji's birth, because I want to take more time talking about my postpartum depression. I had Taraji at 4.1 kilos, and it was a vaginal delivery. And because of that, they had to check her sugar levels to just see if maybe she has some type of diabetes or something, and she turned out okay. So went home, and the night when I was going to have Taju is the same night that my brother's kid Chloe was brought to Nairobi for some checkups. His baby was ailing, and that night is the same night that the baby was brought to Nairobi. So Chloe is my niece, and or Chloe was my niece, and I think 4 days after having Taraji, my brother lost his child, and that is baby Chloe. It is a story that I really don't want to talk about because I feel like I need permission from my brother to talk about it. But we lost her, and it happened 4 days after I had given birth. So this is where it all started. I live in Nairobi, and my house is closer to the sun. Most of my family members, and always I have visitors in my house. So all of us had come into my house. My sister had come from Migori, Nancy, my sister Margaret also, and my brother Isaac. We were all staying in my house at that time, and I was also already having I had already had a child. So I didn't have so much time to rest because I was hosting all my sisters and everyone because of the baby who we later lost. So 4 days later, after having Taju, I lost my niece, and I think that's where it all began because the visitors were coming to my house to visit. I didn't get enough time to rest. I didn't get enough time to take care of myself, and also the stress and the anxiety of losing someone. This is the closest death has ever hit my family because my nuclear family, I thank God, is intact, and it was very unfortunate that we lost Chloe at such a young age. She died, I think, at about 8 months. And yeah, so people were coming to my house to say, Pole, I didn't get enough rest. And slowly it started eating into me. I started experiencing fears of death. Like I wouldn't want to leave my room because I felt like something bad is gonna happen. And I started experiencing like I could cry a lot during the day, during the night. I had insomnia. Some of these things are actually symptoms of postpartum depression, but I didn't know at the time. So we did arrangements for the burial, and we were set to travel a week after I had delivered. So the morning of traveling to Kisii for the burial, that night I didn't sleep. I experienced severe headache, and it's like here on the back of my neck. And I remember my sister Margaret trying to massage me through the night. Nothing changed. And I was also with my cousin Dora, who happens to be a nurse. So in the morning, everyone else is going for the Musafara to go and pick baby Chloe from the morgue. Me, I'm on my way to Nairobi West Hospital to get checked. So when I got there, they checked my pressure was extremely high. I think it was about 160 or 180 if I'm not wrong. And the doctor said that the pressure is too high, and they put me on medication. I almost didn't go for that burial, but I said, you know what, this happens once, and I would blame myself for the rest of my life if I didn't make it there. So I traveled, went home, took the medication, the symptoms came down a bit, but then I came back to Nairobi, and that is where it all began. I could not leave my room. Every time my curtains were drawn, like I didn't want light. I couldn't even talk on phone. Like if I put the phone next to my ear, I feel like the sound is so loud that I can feel it in my brain. Like I don't even know if you guys understand. Like I could pick the phone and just put it on speaker and put it very far away from me because I could feel like my head is bursting. And then I look at this baby, I'm like, I don't know if I can protect this child. I feel like I'm going to lose this baby. I couldn't sleep at night. I used to cry all the time. I cried so much. And so what happened is that I had also anxiety. I could rest. There are days when I could have panic attacks. Like I could barely breathe at night. And then I walk outside, get some fresh air, just take deep breaths, and then come back to the house. And it is at that moment when I realized that I needed to see a doctor. I hadn't met Dr. Sule at that time. So my gynecologist at the time was Koigi. He has an office at Doctor's Plaza, Nairobi. So when I went to see him, he asked me if I have a history of hypertension in our family. My mom is hypertensive and also diabetic. And he gave me some tests to do, and I went and did them and came back with the results. So the results say that my HB1C, which is the test that you do for diabetes, was showing that I was pre-diabetic. And the results were 6.3. And a pre-diabetic patient, the range is between 5.7 and 6.4. So from those results, you can see that I was already pre-diabetic because mine was 6.3. So I was sent to a diabetic specialist, specialist. Of course, the pressure was already there because once the doctor checked me, I had hypertension, which is high blood pressure, and also I had pre-diabetic, which is also known as gestational diabetes. Some of the symptoms for pre-diabetes or diabetic patients are like being thirsty, and then I had blurriness. I couldn't see very well. That's why I think I used to draw the curtains, because I didn't want light, but at the time I didn't know. So also urinating a lot. I used to urinate a lot, and also anxiety, just anxiety. I know there are so many symptoms online of gestational diabetes, so I would advise you to check them out, or get in touch with your doctor if you're suspecting that you're also experiencing the same. Gestational diabetes is the kind of diabetes that comes after having child or during pregnancy. Mine, I think, started during pregnancy, but it wasn't discovered at that point. So after pregnancy, I still had it. So I did the test and I was put on some medication for pressure and also some medication for diabetes. And I was given a kit to go home with. And this kit meant that I had to test my sugar levels in the morning, before meals and after meals, and when I'm going to bed. So I used to prick my finger, test, record before I go to bed, before I eat, and during the day, before and after my meals. And one day I just sat there and I was just wondering. This went on for a very long time. For like 3 months. Every day I'm just experiencing the same thing. Every time I go back to the doctor, nothing is changing. My pressure was still there. I remember driving to the chemist in Langata every evening, and every time I feel like my body is not feeling okay, I could go and check my pressure and find that it's still high. And all those tests, all those checkups I did at the gynecology at the hospital were showing that my pressure was also not going down. So I eventually had to buy a pressure machine. Let me show you guys. After 3 months, after actually 2 months of going to the chemist every evening and every morning to check my pressure, I decided to get this. Guys, this thing just brings so much memories. Like, gosh, these are some of the lowest moments in my life. So I had to buy this to just keep checking every time I feel unwell. And this is one of the hardest months of my life. And this is why I keep saying I don't think I want to go back there, to be honest. I really don't think I want to go back there. But well, if it happens, it happens. Then we know it's God's decision, it's not my decision. So as you've seen, this. And at 30 years old, just imagine checking your pressure, injecting yourself to check your sugar levels every time. It also just made me, sink even deeper into depression, because I was like, is this going to be my life? Like the way I used to love having fun, like have a drink, party, I was a very lively person before this experience. And then suddenly I was just sad, I was just depressed. I was like, what is this life now? I can't eat the things I love. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know the way I've struggled with food. So I was like, is this now my life? Like, am I even going to be there for these children? Those feelings just kept coming in. And the more I thought about it, the deeper and deeper I went into this darkness that I could not bring myself out of. And I want to thank Dr. Koigi so much, because it is through him that I actually walked through this. He walked with me through this journey, and eventually I got better. So for gestational diabetes, like I said, it starts during pregnancy for most women, and that meant that I needed to change my diet, stop eating carbohydrates, reduce on carbs and things like. I literally was living like a person who is diabetic. And guy, this is so hard for me. Yeah. And also I just had this fear of losing my child. I don't know if it's because I had lost a niece, but I kept having these fears of I will not be there to see my kids grow, and just so much. So this went on until I feel like the person who really saved me was Taraji, because one day I woke up in the morning and I looked at this child, and she had started cooing. If you're a mom, you know what cooing is. So she was like, you might not understand what I'm doing, but I know moms understand. So when she did that, it's like I got some clarity. I was like, wait a minute, this is my child. I have to be there for this child. So what am I gonna do about it? So one day I just woke up in the morning, put on my running shoes, started jogging around the estate, and that felt very good for the first time. And slowly I started feeling much better. The medication started kicking in, my pressure started going down, and also just by the fact that I was watching what I was eating, my diabetes levels, my sugar levels also went down. So it is after 3 months that I actually, went back to myself, because hormones after pregnancy are still very high. So I bet that also contributed to the fact that I was pre-diabetic. I was having gestational diabetes, and also the fact that my blood pressure was high. Eventually I overcame, but it took a lot of convincing. Like, I called myself for so many meetings just to tell myself, like, I have to be there for these kids. I have to be there for my children, and I have to do what the doctor is saying. So I started exercising, I started eating right, I took my medication as was prescribed, and eventually the pressure went away. I can't even tell how it did, though I know in my family we have a history for that, and maybe later in my years I might experience it. But for now, I thank God that I'm healthy. I thank God that I'm able to take care of my kids the way that I am. And also the sugar levels went down. That means that I stopped checking my levels every day. Like, I could dunga myself, you guys. That is the worst thing for me. Like, I felt like life is over for me completely. How was I supposed to live life like that? Najidunga kama mtu mzee. Like, I was young. I was 30 years old. And I had to also lose weight because of that, even though the weight came back much later. And that's why you guys see me really going to the gym every day. Some people think that my weight loss journey is for fun. Of course, it's been a struggle. I've really struggled to find the perfect weight loss program for myself. But for me, as long as I'm moving, as long as I'm sweating a little bit, even if it's 3 times a week, I know why I'm doing it, because I know that I am exposed just with the fact that it's genetic. So guys, eventually my pressure went down. Like I said, eventually my sugar levels behaved, and I haven't experienced that until today. So all I can say is that if you're a mom, if you're a new mom and you're experiencing some of these symptoms, you can go on and Google them. Nowadays, with internet, with Wi-Fi, information is on our phones. Google about it. If there's something you're going through that is close to what I have shared today, please go see your doctor for a checkup, so that you're advised as soon as possible. So guys, depression is not easy. Like, honestly speaking, I don't even think I've done this video justice. I was just trying to make it short and just give a brief of what happened, but it takes a lot from you. It takes a lot from you, and it takes a lot of courage to come out of it, because mostly it's a game of the mind. It's like your mind is telling you you can't do it, and you have to keep telling yourself that I can do this, I can come out of this. And I'm glad I was able to actually triumph at the end of the day. So that being said, guys, that is my short story of battling depression, postpartum depression. And also I was having gestational diabetes, which I don't have anymore, and also hypertension. So now I'm clear. The doctor cleared me a long time ago. This explains my fear for not wanting to have another child. I think, guys, I've talked too much. I hope in this video I've kind of brought it out, not the way I would have wanted, but I hope I brought out the information that could be helpful to someone out there. So next part is checking if we are indeed expecting another child. This gives me so much anxiety, you guys. This gives me so much anxiety. But let's check. Let me go for the test and then I come back. So we are not pregnant. Kai, I don't want to go back there, you guys. I can't even believe it. Oh my God, what is that thing? But then why are my periods late? I don't know. Oh my God, this makes me so happy. I know it's not fair for me to do this, because I know there are people out there who are really longing to have a child, and for me to say something like this might be not very fair to other people. But I'm not doing this to make you feel bad. I'm actually praying for each and every one of you who wishes to have a child, that you are blessed to experience motherhood in this lifetime. But I'm super excited. Can you imagine another Taraji or another? Well, I would have loved to have a son, but looks like the odds are not on our side. this time. So we are not pregnant. We are not pregnant, and I thank God for that. May God keep my kids, the ones I already have. May He protect them. May I see them grow. May I see my grandkids. Because at this point, I'm like, thank you, God. The ones you've given me are enough for me. Also, I wanted to just mention that when I posted about the delay of the visitors this week, I got a lot of comments on my Instagram. People saying that the vaccination also changes your cycle or something. I have not done research on that, so I wouldn't know. But if you've experienced the same, like after having the jab, kindly comment in the comment section below. Let me know what exactly has changed in your cycle since you had the vaccination, because I just had my second jab this week, so I don't know for sure if that could have contributed to this delay that I'm talking about. So anyway, guys, do your research. If you're a new mom, watch out for these symptoms. They happen. It's a common occurrence to most women. And I hope it has been insightful. I hope it has been educative. I hope you've learned something. And I'm gonna leave it right here by saying thank you guys for supporting Rita's World. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel, and see you in the next video.